I'm Steve Weldon, and I love adventure. I love to hike and to explore. California's my home, and what a treat it is to take to the trails, the roads, and the byways. Come join me while I trek across our Golden State, discovering special places and special people. Walk in California. Hi, I'm Steve Weldon. Welcome to Yosemite National Park. Boy, howdy, we are in God's country, and it doesn't get any better. I moved here from Texas in the year 2000. I started exploring California about then, and I noticed that if I went just the extra little bit, besides maybe going out to a pullout and walking 300 feet to get to something, I thought to myself, what if there's a bigger payoff a mile away, 2 miles away, maybe 10 miles away? I'm going to see if I can find that. So I went out on a big adventure. I started backpacking all over the state, and then I decided I need to show this to my friends. That's how we came up with this brand new program, Walk in California. Let's meet the park ranger right now, Jamie Richards. She's a very kind lady to be here early on a Sunday morning. Thank you so much for being here, Jamie.
Thank you, Steve. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Let me ask you a couple of things. First off, with Yosemite being in your backyard like this, you must pinch yourself every day on your way to work. I mean, this is not work.
You know, it never gets old. Every single day, I drive into Yosemite National Park, I drive into Yosemite Valley, I look up at the rock formations that surround us. Like here, we're in El Capitan Meadow at the base of the Cathedral Rocks.
Mm-hmm. It would inspire me as well. As a matter of fact, work would not be spelled that way. It would be spelled P-L-A-Y.
There's a lot of play in there, but there's a lot of work too.
Where does John Muir enter into the history of Yosemite?
John Muir is a really important historical figure. He brought a lot of attention to Yosemite. He wrote a lot of pieces that were focused on Yosemite. And so people paid attention and remembered the legacy of John Muir.
John Muir immigrated to America at the age of 11. His family settled in Wisconsin. Muir became known as a farmer, inventor, and a conservationist. John first traveled to California in 1868, where he hiked the high Sierras and settled in what is now Yosemite. Through the tireless efforts of John Muir and his colleagues, an act of Congress created Yosemite National Park. In 1892, Muir and his supporters founded the Sierra Club. His reason was, in his words, to do something for wildness and make the mountains glad.
There are people here thousands of years before John Muir came. And in fact, Yosemite National Park was established before John Muir came. We were established in 1864.
Wow. And wasn't that Galen Clark that came in somewhere around there and he came to the park? Can you tell me about Galen Clark?
Absolutely. Galen Clark is considered the first guardian of the Mariposa Grove of giant sequoias and
Wow.
the first guardian of Yosemite. He was really the first park ranger.
Okay, and he came here from the Northeast, I understand, because he had tuberculosis and doctors had told him that if you have a chance to live another few years, that if you head west, maybe it'll help you?
He was encouraged to go to a place that would have drier air, go to the west. He came out here, he discovered the Mariposa Grove, he fell in love, and he dedicated the rest of his life to protecting the Mariposa Grove of giant sequoias.
If you've got one thing that you would like to say to people visiting the park, and you're going to have 5 million visitors this year, what would you tell them?
It's so much more important to stop and to just pause for a moment and to look around you and to take in everything that you see, everything that you smell, everything that you touch. There is something for everyone here in Yosemite National Park. It can inspire you in many different ways, or just looking around and listening to the natural sounds, the bird and the deer around you. Take time to stop and experience Yosemite.
There you go. We're heading up to Tuolumne Meadows, and we are going to go on a 30-mile backpack trip, and we're going to head down to the valley floor. Is there anything we can expect to see that's really spectacular?
Well, you're going to descend from over 8,000 feet down to 4,000 feet here at the valley floor. So you're going to experience a lot of different environmental changes.
Okay.
I'd encourage you to check out the alpine meadows
Okay.
and think about the differences you see from the Tuolumne Meadows and the alpine meadows as you descend into
Okay.
Yosemite Valley. You're going to see different types of flowers.
We're about to start really walking California. We're going to head on up to Tuolumne Meadows right now. And Jamie Richards, thank you so much for your time.